Hey guys, welcome back to the Backcheck Podcast. My name is Cam alongside Dawson Smith, and today we have another guest appearance with Rob Campbell. And Rob's worked professionally for a while now. He's worked with the St. Louis Blues, the NHL, New York Mets, the MLB. He currently works as the head strength coach for the Detroit Red Wings. So thanks for Rob for coming on to the show today. And Rob and I go way back. I've known him since probably 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere in that range.
I think it would be 2009, 2010.
Jeez, that's a while ago.
Yeah, it was. I think I won an award at Bridgeton Academy from Cam's, and most likely to fit into Cam's shirt. I think, unfortunately, probably his shirts are probably too big for me now.
I don't know. We'll see. That makes me feel old. And so, Rob, where are you from? And tell everybody about your journey so far. You're from college to from Bridgeton to your professional journey. How has that looked for you? And is this anything you've ever really imagined?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess maybe we should start with way back. Maybe when I met you, I went to Bridgeton Academy. I played hockey, and then I went to Salve Regina for a year. Played hockey there. And then transferred over to Bridgewater State, and that's where I went to their exercise science program. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to get into coaching. I knew that, or somewhere along the lines, maybe teaching something that I could continually, be some sort of educator. Which if you're a coach, you are. Right. I did an internship at Harvard with their strength and conditioning department, and then I actually went to again, and I worked hockey team and being the strength and conditioning coach for them and an assistant coach and just all the different things that you do there. And I think there I wanted to figure out if I wanted to be a hockey coach or a strength and conditioning coach. I knew I could both, and I really found myself enjoying the weight room way more in that part. So from there I ended up at Lindenwood University, which is a university out in St. Louis. And then from there at Lindenwood, I got a volunteer position with the St. Louis Blues as an assistant. I did that for 2 years concurrently with my graduate assistantship at Lindenwood. And, graduated, actually moved back home because the position wasn't funded yet. I was home for about a week, and they called me back and said, hey, we want to bring you on full time here. So I was like, yeah, sure. I just packed up my stuff, drove back, and I was working within 2 weeks, and and then I think it was January 2019. I ended up getting a call from the New York Mets, seeing if I wanted to interview for their performance coach job. I was like, yeah, sure. So I ended up going there in 2019, and then in the end of the season, ended up our director now was with the Mets too, and he had taken over with the Red Wings and was looking for a head strength coach, and ended up going over to the Red Wings after a season with the Mets, and that's currently where I am now. So this will be my third season with the Red Wings, and that's kind of the short version, short and sweet.
Nice. And was there a big transition from going from working in a baseball organization to coming back and working for a hockey organization, or were the daily performances kind of similar in the sense?
I don't know. It's baseball and hockey as far as the pace and just kind of the different athletes that you have. I would say that they're way different. I think when you look at baseball or hockey or working in whatever you're working in, your experience will be different from place to place. So there wasn't much of a transition because I already worked in the NHL for 4 years before that. Obviously, being in a different role now, being the head of strength and conditioning, was a bigger difference for me. Going from MLB, where I was a co-head, to being the head for the Red Wings.
Right. And what does your average day look like? Or do you have an average daily routine, or is it just kind of very not is it kind of chaotic at times?
Yeah, I mean, so there's basically 3 days in an NHL season. There's a practice day, a game day, and an off day if you get one, right? And so I guess with the practice day, we've just had 2 practice days this week. Today's Tuesday, right? So we had practice Monday, practice Tuesday. We play tomorrow night. So like in a practice day, usually, I'll be in there 3 hours before our scheduled practice time, and players start to come in, usually around 2.5 to 2 hours before, eat breakfast, kind of mosey around, and then they're in the gym with me usually an hour before, doing a warm up or a lift for the day. And then once the team's on the ice, I'll have reconditioning guys come in for their workouts, which will take us up to the practice time. And then, guys come in, they stretch, cool down, and then usually I work out after that, So it's the practice days are a lot shorter, I would say, than the game days. Are also, there's time in there with the reconditioning skates where I on some days will go out and run, speed or strength or power work, and have timing gates and, different resistance sprinting things going on with our reconditioning guys if it is something that, is appropriate for them at the time. And then also I'll work and get the daily load from the day and talk with our head coach and just give them kind of a synopsis of the day there. A game day is going to be different in the sense that the guys do come in. I get there again 3 hours before usually the morning skate, and then we're looking at in our morning routine, it is a little bit slower on game day mornings, but guys come in, work out, they don't work out, they just warm up and they go onto the ice. So we're there usually from about 7:30 to 8 to about noon. Everyone kind of breaks and either goes home, or you have that middle part of the day from anywhere from noon to, we play 7:30 weekday games and 7 p.m. Weekend games. At home, we very rarely have afternoon games, so you have that time in the middle of the day, either from 12 to 4:30 or 12 to 4, usually about 3 hours before the first guy will be back. So I'm back before that, and then during a game day, you help the guys warm up, and then they'll go play, and then the scratches will come in, work out, and then looking at post game, sometimes we lift, sometimes we don't. I try not to, but we'll cool down, and then we're out of there. So we'll be out of there usually about 3.5 hours to 4 hours after the scheduled game starts. So you're looking at a day, if you don't leave, from around 7:30 to possibly 11:30 midnight, getting out of there.
Right.
And then off days sometimes can be. Sometimes you go in on the off days as well and help with different things there too. So sometimes there's not off days. So, but I was trying to figure out what day of the week it was. So.
Right. That can be difficult. So it seems like pretty standard though. Guys come in, they'll warm up even before a practice and game, and then do what they need to do to get ready for those. And
yeah, for sure.
And how has your role changed from first working at Lindenwood all the way up to Detroit? Has it? You first started as a graduate assistant, was it?
Yeah, Lindenwood graduate assistant.
So how have you developed as a professional from working all the way at Lindenwood, now working in Detroit? Do you feel you've gained a lot of good experience over the time, or do you feel? I don't even know what I'm trying to ask, but
yeah, I mean, if you look at kind of the progression and how you become better, really at anything, if you're trying to be in a leadership position, is for us, you need to know the hard sciences and different things that you can do with anatomy, physiology, all those different things. But I think one of the biggest things that this could apply anywhere in kind of any situation is learning the interpersonal skills, being a better communicator, having to have those hard conversations with people that, you don't want to have, but sometimes you have to have. And that's been pretty much one of the biggest things is developing better relationships and not being afraid to have those hard conversations that sometimes what the answer is coming forward, but you got to go through with it. And people gain a lot of respect for people who actually go out of their way to have those hard conversations, and learning how to use your words and use them wisely, I think, is probably one of the biggest things that you can have in your tool set, because there's a lot of different personalities that you have to manage and you have to learn. And that's been one of the biggest things, I would say. But not training aside, it would be becoming a more effective leader and doing it in ways that it's not all rah rah. It's learning how to talk to people one on one and how to get the best out of each guy, I would say.
Right. And for the relationships you've developed from players and coaches, do you have a good relationship where with management, and you probably deal with a bunch of different people on a daily basis, so it's probably good to deal with you have to deal from coaches to players to other staff members.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. Yeah, the communication skills are extremely important.
Yeah, I think you got to know your audience. You got to know what you're going for, what the end goal is, and that you're not always going to get it your way, but figuring out the best way to present it to each person is one of the biggest takeaways that I've been able to gain over the years. Is just that you got to present it the right way, and you got to know how to push each button with each person, I think.
Right. And I know people talk a lot about the physical strength training, but do you deal with any cognitive mental training, or is that more somebody else's department?
That would be more. We have a sports psychology department.
Yeah, I figured
that do a lot of that. I think if you're looking for as far as psychology and things like that, there's always guys you just talk to them and see how they're doing, and sometimes they need to vent to you, and you're just there, and you lend an ear so that they can just get off whatever's on their chest, whatever they got to get off their chest, whether it's girlfriend issues or they disagree with something going on with the team, or you just never know. So just sometimes just having that skill of listening and understanding is huge as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure Dawson probably has a few questions.
Yeah, sure. Fire away.
I like to ask a few hypotheticals. Number one, if you had $1 million or you won the lottery, what would be the first thing you'd do with it?
That's a great question, because I think the Mega Millions is now almost 400 million. You think what would you do with it, right? It would depend. I think the first thing I would do is figure out a way so no one knew that I won the money, and then from that figure out a way to invest it where I would be able to not have to do anything if I didn't want to do anything, and just go about living my life. That's the biggest thing if you win the lottery. So figure out a way so no one knows, and then from that figure out a way that I can use and invest my money wisely, so that moving forward I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, for the rest of my life, and knowing that I have that security and my family would have that security moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very approach to doing it, and that's obviously, how could you go wrong with that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to win the lottery. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, me too.
I guess my other question I had, around the league that you've been all different jobs, whether or not it's your favorite place, where's the place that either you have been that's your favorite, or a place that you've always wanted to go to?
As far as just to travel and all of that?
Yeah.
A lot of guys on here talking about and a lot of island, this and that. So we just like to get thoughts of, what people think.
Can you say that again? You're cutting in and out a bit there. Sorry.
What would be like your vacation home, anywhere in the world?
To travel or to live or what?
Yeah, I'm up to you. It can be either.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd like to go to Sweden or Austria or Switzerland. One of those places and just explore, and see another continent and the different cultures and the different foods. Like we have guys from all over the world on our team, and each place, they all have their own kind of way about life and way about food and cultures that I think is really, really neat. And I just love to go over to Europe and check it out essentially. Like say, go back to that question about winning the lottery, and what would you do with the money? Well, if I had enough money and I could not have to do anything, I'd go buy a house, near a ski resort on a lake. So you get all the, you're able to do everything, and just somewhere where I could do whatever outdoor activities or stay active and be in like a beautiful surroundings, that would be ideal. But I don't necessarily have a place where I say, oh, I'd love to live there or do this or that. It's just kind of, I've seen a lot of at least our country, and a lot of places have a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of cool places out there.
Absolutely. I think that's all the questions I had for yourself. You're probably all set. All right. Well, I wanted to thank Robbie again for coming on, and obviously nice to talk to you again. It's been a while. We'll have to catch up eventually.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, and thanks everybody for tuning in. And I hope you guys enjoyed this guest appearance. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more great content coming your way.